Welcome back. It is Dawn with For Grace Creations, and you guessed it, we have another How Do You Do Art Masterboard May, brought to us by Sharyl at the Whole Bucket. So, part of this masterboard thing is answering some questions that our little collaboration group came up with. So during this video, I will go ahead and answer some of those questions, but feel free to post your questions you might have for me if you want to know a little bit more about me down in the comments, and I'll do my best to either answer them in the next video or come back and answer them right underneath your comment as a reply. So today, what are we going to do? Well, I wanted to try something, another experiment with this Yes paste. And we'll use it in the masterboard. I've got a couple of pieces of book page, and they are fairly big, actually. And then I've got some napkins. So the first thing when you're going to do any kind of masterboards with napkins, oh, I thought this was all the way around. Well, it's not. So I'm going to cut it right there at the edge. And my rooster is saying hello outside. We have sunshine. You know, here I am usually like, look, we have snow, and I'm so happy, and I love snow, and yeah, yesterday I went for a walk with my daughter and the grandkids, and I was so excited. I'm wearing jeans, and, and all of a sudden, Dawn's sweating to death. It's like, dude, it was 85 degrees. Anyway, it's hot, it's nice, so my window's open, and the rooster in the middle of the day is just crowing away. So with napkins, what I do is I will take a piece of tape, and then, look, it just pulls it right off. And then do it again, and you will find out, oh, look, it ripped. Nope, there's not another layer. So we've got that one done. I'll set it aside. And let's open this one. I love this napkin. Somebody sent it to me in a Happy Mail. If you ever want to do a napkin swap, just comment and let me know, and then shoot me an email. My email will be in the description box. And all you have to do is give me your real name, your YouTube name, and your mailing address, and we can figure out details with napkin swaps. Or head over to my Ko-fi site, because I have napkin bundles. I think I put 5 high-end napkins in, and they're not the same, in a package for you. Anyway, there's those 2 options if you need some pretty napkins. And when I say high-end, I just mean they're not Dollar Tree. They're ones that, I scour the stores and internet and places to find them. Okay, and and they're also not from Hobby Lobby. I know you can get napkins at Hobby Lobby, but they're not from there either, because everybody can access those. All right, what do I do with, like, this stuff? If they're torn, I do set it aside, and I use it to mop up messes. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you saw my video where my mat was covered in yucky hardened glue, and I asked what you use on your glass mats to get glue off other than hand sanitizer, because hand sanitizer works, and it works well, but I was out. Well, guess what? Simple rubbing alcohol works. The one I used was this 91% alcohol, and I got this at I don't remember, I think it was the dollar store, so it was $1.25. Anyway, it got the glue off. Now I do have more glue on here from I was just playing earlier this morning with some stuff, but I now want to try something. So let me set this aside. I've got a jar, and oh gosh, I've got this thingy, and I want to take some of this really thick, like, look, it's bending my doohickey. Grab this thick paste, put it down in there. Oh my goodness, it's hard to get out. Yeah, okay. Get the lid on here. And then I want to take and add some water like I would in, let me see. Like I would in my PVA Elmer school glue. I would put glue in and then I'd put some water and I'd shake it real good just to thin it down. Well, this is horribly thick. So I thought maybe we could water this down. Now I just added a little bit of water to start with. And yeah, I hear you. That's not enough, Dawn. Okay. Oh, have I ever told you that if you want your water to smell good or your glue to smell good, just add a drop or two of an essential oil. doTERRA is a good company to get oils from, and so is Revive. If you go to your grocery store, you're going to probably end up finding oils that are not 100% natural. They're going to have yuck in it. So if you buy them off Amazon, pay attention because most oils on Amazon are for like candle making and things like that. And they're high fragrance, but they're not something you should get, how do I say it? They're not natural. They're fakey. Anyway. Okay, well, that's a little thinner. Let's just add more water. I really want to stir it up good. I figured, trying out this yes paste in different ways will let you know whether or not you should purchase it. I found out that it is on Amazon. Okay, so that's a little thinner. I think, yeah, we could go even thinner. And I'm not measuring. I am literally adding water, stirring until I feel like the consistency might be right. But again, I have no clue. I think that's good enough. All right. Let's set that aside. Now, let's grab our book page. And I'm going to grab a paintbrush. And just kind of mush, because my paintbrush was sitting in water. I want to kind of mush that water around. All right. How big do I need to go? Well, maybe if we just go down here. All right, so, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab a paper towel. I don't want to make my glass mat, any worse than it already is. And let's just, oh, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, shoot. A little goes a really long way. Okay, I got way, way, way too much on there. Okay, a little teeny tiny goes a long way. Let's move this up here. Okay, and then we'll put this right down there. So what we're doing is we're basically making a small masterboard. It's not real small. This is a large book page, but we're making a masterboard out of napkins because my thought was I have a lot of things like book page pockets and just things I've made, tags, journal cards that need a little bit of collage or decoration, maybe a little something snippet down in, cluster down in the bottom. And I thought that if I use some of these pretty napkins, I could then just rip pieces out to use in collaging. I don't know. That was my thought. Let's see. I'm going to cut off some of this. You know what I'll do? I'm just going to go ahead and plop that on there. There we go. And then go ahead and cut it off. Not perfectly or anything, just enough so I can use the rest of this napkin. There we go. And gently press down because napkins do tear. And I don't want to go over it with anything, because I want to see what is the texture going to feel like of this when it's dry. So now let's go ahead and, you know, I'm gonna set this aside to dry. Let's use this Gigantor here. And we'll come in maybe over here on the edge. So how far? About to the M. Okay. I'm just trying to measure where to put the glue. You know what I mean? Now, not quite so much glue, because remember it it really went a long way. Okay, a little bit more. And I want to go and make sure I get the edges. Now I can see it is starting to dry. So maybe I need to not pay attention to the edges and whether or not I get glue on my surface and just go to town, because I don't want this to dry. I know I'm putting too much on, but again, it was beginning to dry. Probably because I was doing such a thin layer. Okay, let's set that aside. I don't want my napkin to be glued to my surface, so I'll just wipe up, try to wipe up some. And then, let's just put that napkin down. Trying to make sure I have no air bubbles. Now, I didn't quite get enough glue over here. So, let me just come over here and grab a little bit more. There we go. I can hear the birds singing. Now, oh, I'm not telling you that I don't like sunshine. What I'm telling you is I don't do well in 80 to anything higher, let's be real. I would really prefer, my perfect temperature would in the summer would be probably 70 to 75. Now, a few 80, 85 days is fine, especially like if you're going to go play in some water. But I just don't do well in heat. Now, I don't know, this is maybe too much information, but do any of you have the pre-menopause or menopause going on? That may be my problem. It might be that this will go away and I'll be good to go. But for now, that's something to know about me. I feel like I melt in the heat. Okay, now, I wonder if I should grab more napkin. Ooh, you know what? We could use this, since there's already a print on here, and wet my fingers and see if that will make this come apart. It does. So another question that is officially from the group: why did you join How Do You Do Art? Okay, I was watching Darcy Sanders over at Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media. And she had been mailed a package, the same items in it as a bunch of different people, the collaborators. And it was how do you do art with what you're given, to show, everybody does things a little bit different. We all have our own ideas. So it was fun to watch her and see what she did with what she was given. And then I actually went and watched a couple other people to see what are they doing with what they've been given. And I knew it was going to be something that was the next month as well. So I waited, and the next month I watched, and I was like, oh, now this is stuff that like anybody may have in their craft space. So they were not mailed these items, right? But it was still, how do you do this? What do you do with these supplies? And I was very intrigued because what Darcy was doing was exactly what I would have done. And so I went and watched a couple of other of the collaborators, and I was like, oh, weird. Okay, their brains work completely different than mine. And so I had those supplies here at home, so I tried it. And I was like, and then I just, used the hashtag because she said it was an open collaboration. That means if you have the supplies at home and you want to try this, try it. Use the hashtag, how do you do art, right? And then everybody could see that as well. So I did do that. Oh, I don't want it there. And I guess I want it right there. It just stopped there. And then Sharyl asked me, hey, do you want to join How Do You Do Art? And I was like, I felt so, what's the word? Honored and excited. And of course I said yes. It's exciting to be part of this junk journal community, as well as mixed media art community, jelly plate, just all the things. It just makes me happy. And, y'all are so supportive, and we help each other out. We give each other ideas. We tag each other. It's just this camaraderie that I adore. I just really don't know how else to explain it. But I love it. And so that is how I actually started doing this. And it's fun. I've met new friends. Granted, I've never met them in person, but now we speak on the phone and over Facebook Messenger, and where you can see each other. It's just amazing. It is fabulous. Anyway, it's kind of like the Scrappy 8 challenge, ladies. It's new friendships. By the way, if you ever want to do the Scrappy 8 challenge, it is an open collaboration. We just recommend that whatever you make, you use the hashtag Scrappy 8 challenge, just like you would if you tried How Do You Do Art. Like, are you making a masterboard? Do you want to record it? Use this here, and then tag me at For Grace Creations in your video so I can see it, because it's an open collaboration. Anyway, masterboard May. So now, of course, it needs to dry, but it just added a little bit of fun to the page. What is this side? Oh, I got a really old book, as you can tell. So we need to let that dry. But my thought truly is that I will then take this and just, either cut some out, fussy cut maybe the butterfly, or just rip some pieces out and then just put it on as a focal point for something. I have a couple of masterboards here that I did. I just used all kinds of scraps, and then I went over the top with some, this one got Mod Podge, so it is kind of shiny. And this one got matte medium gel, or matte medium paste, whatever that is, matte medium. It's just something over top. And, let's talk about masterboards for a minute, since this needs to dry anyway. Can we just look at this? And can I tell you, I don't work with reds very often. I just don't. So I really don't like this. My thought is this. If I came in with, let's see, Where's my gesso? That's clear gesso. We don't want clear. What if we came in with white gesso? Okay, you know what? Shake it a little. And I'm going to grab this other paintbrush and get some here. What if we just randomly got some on there and started just squishing it everywhere. What it does is it definitely, as you can tell, knocks back the color, but you can still see some of it. Do you see what I mean? It's just not as harsh. And since I'm not a huge reddy red person, knocking back that red is actually a good thing for me. Yep. So gesso, white gesso. And then, of course, you have to let it dry. But, hey now, why the lid doesn't want to go on? What's happening? There we go. Put this in a jar of water. And then, gesso dries fairly quickly, but I'm going to go ahead and dry this. And then I have an idea, because now that we got some of that color just into the background a little, so it's not so bright, we can now have a little fun with this. And what do I mean? Well, I can now try these stamps that I tried on I think I tried them on a washi tape masterboard, and it doesn't work because washi tape obviously is got that shiny, smooth surface. I need a new black ink pad. You know, the permanent ink, not the, what do you call that? Oxide. Okay. Now, let's just set it right in the middle, and we'll give it some good squishage to try and, really get the print on there. Oh, ha 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 ha. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. That is okay. I'm not mad. But, boy, you know what? I am going to say, let's grab a couple of, what do I got? Oh, yeah, my walnut stain is almost gone. That's okay. What is this? Rusty hinge. Let's shake them up. And these are oxide sprays. And I'm just going to set this here so this paper will catch some of this spray. And I can see this is still a little wet, and I don't care. I know, I tried to get the red gone, and now here I am adding orange. Yep, I am. But, where's my water? Here it is. We're going to then spray with water and let her drip, right? Let's go down this way. Okay. Now it's got a little orange, but let's spread it out. And of course, that needs to dry. But this has a little orange on it, so why not splatter some here? Okay, I know. Orange. But bear with me. Let's try. And I'm going to dry this just a little bit. Not a lot. Just a little. Okay, and now let's grab a paper towel and mop up just a little, not a ton. And then let's go with trying to get walnut stain. Oh, there it goes. Okay, I got a little out, not a ton. Okay, now letting this dry, we will see some of the color, but the sprays we put on it when it dries, we'll have that as well. But in the background, we've got a little bit of that stamping. And this I would cut apart and create either tags or maybe some pockets, something like that. But clearly we have to let this dry, as well as this. Now, I've added more orange, which is kind of cool. But the point is, you can use your scraps that you don't like and turn them into something you do like by simply continuing to do more and more layers. Like when this dries, if I don't like it, I could come back over it and do different stamps. It's just many layers, having fun, and rolling with what you got. Let's see, can we kind of make that drip some more? Yeah. See, and I would let that dry and maybe do a little something more with that. Ooh, that might be cool to put another napkin over top. I'm not sure. Anyway, what I can tell you is this. When you use yeast paste and you water it down so that it is thin, not like runny, but more like, almost the consistency of homemade frosting. No, you'd want thicker than that. Anyway, do you see what I mean? It's not a hard gel. You can use it for your napkins, and when it dries, you have that cloth fabric napkin feel on the top instead of the, how would you explain that? That plasticky feel when you use Mod Podge on top, you know? And it is matte. There's no shine. And let me just tell you, this stuff sticks really well. So far, I am impressed with the Yes Paste. Now, when you use a napkin for cleanup like this, keep it. It really is fun to use in, your collaging and mixed media stuff. So I just hang this next to me till it dries, and I might use it a few more times. Yeah. Well, thank you for being here, you guys. And, I don't know if I'm going to do more masterboard or not, but I should answer this question. Here it is. What other artistic things do you do? Oh boy, a lot. I work with resin. I work with, I make, with UV resin, I make earrings and jewelry. And I make things like soap dishes and trinket trays and preserved bugs and flowers. Yeah, scorpions. In resin. So I do resin projects. I do make wall hangings and, oh gosh, all kinds of stuff. I am actually willing to try all the creative stuff. And if I don't know how to do it, I typically will find somebody that knows, and I will take instructions from them. And then was art your favorite class in school? No. I actually, the art I took in school was theater and choir. Those are the types of art classes I took because my high school didn't, I don't think they offered any actual art classes, or maybe I just didn't choose them. But I adored theater. I adored choir. When I went to community college after high school, I did take a few art classes that were learning to draw still life photos and then people, with charcoal and things like that. And then I did take a couple of painting classes, watercolors. But shoot, you guys, I was like, what, 19, 18 years old back then. I don't know about you, but I graduated at 17 years old. So community college I was 18 and 19. So I didn't take a lot of art classes. So in high school, middle school, those kinds of things, it wasn't my favorite because I didn't take them. So I hope that helps. Let me know. Did you take art classes in school? What was your favorite class in school? High school, middle school? And what artistic things do you do? It'd be fun to know. I will see you soon. Bye.